How you folks doing? Hero of None here on 1/11/2019. So, it's a new year, and I'm getting back into things, and we're doing a Mundus Minute tonight. We're going to be doing news, what's in the Golden Merchant, what's in the Luxury Merchant, and that's it tonight. So, first off, on news. Crown Store Showcase has been put out for 2019. You can find that on elderscrollsonline.com. But just to go over a few things, you can get a free Clavicus Vile statue, several outfits, a Bullnutch pet, Warhorse, and a new Bloodspawn pet, set as well. They do have a few new costumes coming out later in the month as things progress and Meteor Mayhem hits. And Lake Mir Zamir Manor is coming up on sale. There are a few new mounts with the Snowboy pet and the Sinage Tiger. And if you did get a chance to get the gift pet, the Snowcap Fledgling Griffin, you're going to get a chance to coming up in the month. In addition to that, we're looking at the next evolution of the Indrix, which is the mount that you could have gotten from doing the various events last year, 2018. And now you have the chance to get several berries and upgrade your Indrik. Now, to know, it's a little confusing for some folks, but you have to get 4 berries before you can upgrade your Indrik into a new one. At the same time, once you upgrade it, it removes the current Indrik that you have from your inventory. You can get the Indrik again by purchasing the old feathers. So, you have a choice here. You have a choice to either get the berries or to get more feathers and then get another one so you can get more Indriks of various fashions. It's going to be a grind for a lot of folks. I can't say it's going to be a fun grind for some of us, but that's kind of how they're running it right now. Currently, Meteor Mayhem is going to have the first. Next is going to be Morrowind. Next, after that's Thieves Guild, and then finally Gestures. And note, you can only get Impressio is only available during each event. You're going to have to hit 10 tickets, get the berry, and then transfer your Indrik. Next, get ready for the next chapter in Elder Scrolls Online. They launched it on, or they didn't launch it, they teased it on last Tuesday, I want to say. Tuesday or the 9th, I can't remember which. Either way, they kind of give us a quick 7-second clip of it, and then just said, watch our stream on January 15th. It has to be one of the biggest trolls I've seen Zos do, but they want to folks in on the 15th. They're going to be showing off the new trailer, and they currently have a thing. If they get 55 concurrent viewers, they're going to be releasing wallpaper with the next concept art. If they get 70k viewers, they're going to give everyone in game a hot pepper Bantam Gar pet, and if they get 90k viewers, Rich Lambert is going to get an ESO tattoo somewhere, safe for work, on his body. So yeah, tune in on that. That's going to be on the Bethesda page for twitch.tv. And finally is Mid-Year Mayhem. Mid-Year Mayhem is currently going on now, started January 10th at 10 a.m. and is going to be going on throughout January 21st to 10 a.m. You're going to be getting double AP rewards inside both Cyrodiil and inside of Battlegrounds. You're going to have to do the you're going to have to at least get the roll scroll buff first before you can get that. If you're new to the game, you're going to have to actually go into PvP, and I know the campaigns are full. It's like, if you're trying to get to Vivek, it's going to be an hour wait plus. Go for some of the new campaigns they put in just for these few weeks of this in. Get that quest done, and then do some Battlegrounds for a little while you wait for your Vivek queue. In addition to that, you can also get a few collectibles, nice little costumes you can work with for getting the various items here, including defeating opponents, capturing resources, capturing keeps, and all that good stuff. In addition to that, if you want to claim your tickets, you're going to have to at least do one quest in PvP. Either Battlegrounds quests, scouting bounties, battle, warfront, conquest quests, capturing scrolls quests, town quests, just something. Quick tip for folks that are not not regular PvPers: go ahead and do a whole bunch of PvP quests. Turn in one, and then just let the other ones sit. That way, if you don't want to go in and do a full night of PvP the next night, you can just turn one quest in, get your ticket, and get out. In addition to that, you can also get Meteor boom boxes, which has transmutation crystals, alchemy reagents, consumables for PvP, motif pages, style pages, Alkaveri styles, cold arbor siege weapons, prismatic runes, and housing items. That's all currently going on inside your PvP stuff. So get in there, enjoy it, have some fun, please, guys. Okay? Now, let us get into what's on the luxury merchant, and let's take a look at the very long list of golden merchant items. So, luxury merchant. Reichling stuff. So basically little goblin stuff here. So you got bedding, icy straw. As you can see, Vivek is ready. I'm gonna have to decline it. Oh, that's so sad. But yes, you have a little Reichling hut, a boar pelt, and an ash bit bone. Now, all these are below 10k. I would say this is probably pretty good if you're going for a primitive type house. Not too bad. But now, guys, we're gonna take a look at what's on the golden merchant today, and it's huge. Okay, you're gonna be able to get each one of these items for 500k AP, and you're thinking that's a large amount. Well, remember, you're getting double AP throughout this event as long as you have done the scroll quest. So I should correct that. It's the Mid-Year Mayhem scroll quest, not the standard capture scroll quest. But either way, you're going to be able to get a lot of AP out of that. So first off, Afflicted, not a bad set. Deals disease damage. Elysian, stamina recovery, health, max health, and increase the duration of crowd control immunity by 3 seconds. Curse Eating. Reduces all negative effects by 20%. Also gives you some health, magicka, and magic recovery. Deadly Necklace. Actually one of the rare 3-piece items here, which health and weapon critical. Eagle Eye. Weapon critical. Increase your bow range by 3 meters. Ebon Necklace, which is actually from a dungeon. I'm not sure why they put it like this, but this is one of the few that are bind on pickup. Don't buy this expecting to sell to people. Leckies. Reduces AoE damage, but also reduces healing you take by 25% here. So it's a double-edged sword here. If you have other sources of major evasion, this does not stack. Marksman. Reduces the cost of your stamina abilities by 5, and also increases your damage to your bow abilities against players, not creatures now, players, by 8%. Just trying to figure out where I was. Almalexia, health, spell resistance, and when you take damage, 20% chance to heal you and your allies in 7 meters for 2,477 damage. Effect concur every 3 seconds. Not really great heal. Alteration, magic recovery, spell critical, and reduces the cost of all your abilities. Keep in mind, all abilities, that includes your stamina and your ultimates, by 6%. Ancient Grace, magicka, and increase your mass magicka by 4%. Beckoning Steel, spell resistance, health, spell resistance, and you have 40% chance to intercept any projectile cast at an ally within 5 meters of you. Cyril's Crest, stamina recovery, health, and when you successfully block, heal for 8,160 health. Just got a can occur every 5 seconds. Necklace of Cyril's Light. By the way, these are all necklaces here as well. Spell damage, magicka, and while you're casting or channeling abilities, damage taken is reduced by 15%. When you're interrupted, your magicka abilities will cost no magicka. Gyarados Ward, weapon damage, stamina recovery, and when you deal melee damage, you apply Major Defile for 3 seconds, and it can occur every 5 seconds. Elf Bane, magicka, spell damage, and increases the duration of your flame abilities by 2 seconds. Masala's Guile, health taken, or healing taken, and apply Major Defile to any enemy that comes within 5 meters of you for 2 seconds. Reducing their healing receive and or minor defile, sorry, In 5 meters for 2 seconds here. Apologize. Facades Guile, Fury, Health, Stamina, Weapon Damage, and when you take critical damage, your weapon damage is increased by 30 for 6 seconds, stacking up 25 times. Remember, this also stacks and increases each time you're critical. So you get critical in the first 6 seconds here, another hit within the next one, it refreshes the first timer. So it stacks up every time you're critical. But of course, you have to get critical within every 6 seconds there. Sorry about that. There it is. Imperial's Wrath, spell damage, and spell critical. Kinds, stamina recovery, weapon critical, and when you deal direct damage with the bow abilities, you have 10% chance to heal for 1200, and also restore stamina for another 1200. Archmage, weapon, Magicka, spell damage, Magicka. When you deal damage with a fully charged heavy attack, restore 8,000, or not 8,000, 834 Magicka. Desert Rose, spell resistance, health, Magicka. When you take damage, you have 50% chance to get 2,408 Magicka back. This could occur every 4 seconds. Hawkeye, stamina, weapon damage, and reduces the cost of and increases the damage of bow abilities by 5%. And this is also against monsters as well as players. Heartland, spell resistance, Magicka, spell resistance, health, Magicka, and when you take damage, you have 15% chance to recover 2,408 Magicka. Incur every 4 seconds. No, wait, that's Desert Rose. Sorry about that. No, Heartland. Clicking the wrong thing. Sorry about that. So health, healing taken, and reduces the cost damage from players by 5%. 5-piece will also reduce damage from siege weapons and player area effects by 20% here. So this is one of the few ones that will actually stack with major evasion. So you stack this on top of that. I don't know why they left it like that, but maybe because the ability is slightly different. But you stack this and you're gonna have a lot less AoE damage coming on top of you from bomb groups. Juggernaut, health, physical resistance, health, and when you take damage while you're under 30%, heal for 18k health. Heal for 18k health. It can occur every 1 minute. Moron Tong, weapon damage, stamina, weapon damage. When you deal direct damage, cause all enemies to take 10% more damage from poison damage abilities for 5 seconds. Necklace of Pontantis, I don't know. Stamina recovery and reduce the cost of your ultimate abilities by 10%. Sentry, stamina, weapon damage, weapon critical, and increase the range that you can detect sneaking enemies by 50%. Increase your damage done on sneaking enemies by 20%. Keep in mind, your range for catching a sneaking enemy is based on where you're looking. Looking behind, an enemy can still come up behind you despite this 50% increase, because your detection rate behind you is pretty much 0. It does increase, however, with detection pots, but it will not increase with other abilities like Mage's Light or Camouflage Hunter. Shadow Walker. Weapon damage, stamina, and stamina recovery, and when you're sneaking or invisible while not moving, heal for 2,150 health and restore 2,150 stamina every 1 second. Swift, health, healing taken, reduces damage taken by players by 5%, and when you take damage from a spell, you have a 10% chance to gain damage shield for that absorbs for 2,580 for 6 seconds. This effect can occur every 4 seconds. Valiant, health, healing taken, reduces damage from players by 5%, and reduces the cost to break free by 40%. Transmutation, Magicka, magic recovery, spell critical, and when you heal a target with a healing over time ability, grant them 1,304 critical resistance for 20 seconds. Vengeance Leech, health, and when you kill an enemy, heal yourself for 1,500, and also restore 1,500 magicka and stamina. Next is a Vicious Death. Spell damage, magicka, spell critical, and we kill player. They violently explode for 19,926 flame damage to all enemies around you for 4-meter radius. And finally, Ravaging. Weapon critical, max health, weapon crit damage, and when you deal melee damage, you have an 8% chance to increase your weapon damage by 645 for 10 seconds. This effect can occur every 10 seconds. So that's a lot of stuff there. If you're wondering what to get out of this, what my recommendations would be, definitely take a look at Ravaging, which is typically used inside PvE stuff, and also PvP. So it's a good overall. You may have to do a trait change on it, but it's something a lot of people are using both for trials, dungeons, and PvP in general. Vicious Death, very much a PvP set, but if you're doing a Magicka bomb build and you're doing it in a group, this can still wreck people, and it's pretty dangerous. You can't really raise this up anymore except for the certain things like there's certain abilities that, or certain buffs that will raise up this damage, but you're stuck with this pretty much because it is a proc. So Magicka players get more use out of this. Very few people on a melee build will ever use it except for very specific type of builds. Morang Tong. This would probably be used mainly by stamina DKs and inside trials groups especially. If you have a lot of stamina DKs, this is actually kind of useful because this poison raises up. Even without a stamina DK, this is kind of helpful because that 10% will affect bow abilities and other things like that. More of a PvE set though, not so much a PvP set, because the poisons this damage here is not going to give that much more boost to your poisons as effective as other things. For bow builds, Hawkeye is a very solid one to get. It reduces and increases bow abilities by 5% to everything. Combine this with another set up here, or take a look at Mark's Markman's, which will also reduce cost and also increase damage against players. And this can be a pretty solid bow setup, especially for, let's say, a stamina warden. But don't expect it to do a huge amount of damage compared to some of the other gank builds. It is kind of nice though. And what else would I recommend? Right here, just going through the list here. Cyrodiil's Ward is actually kind of interesting. If you need a set that gives you Major Defile, which unfortunately there's a lot of people using abilities that are just heal up a lot. Major Defile can actually be pretty useful. It does have a 2-second delay here, but this can be kind of useful for certain builds out there. Next is a Fury. Fury is kind of fallen by the wayside, but is still kind of useful for certain players out there. I would recommend this for folks that are just trying to be useful inside of a group. You run Minor Defile here, or sorry, not Minor Defile. You run this here inside of a group that has a dedicated healer that can help you out. And yeah, this can keep you up. This can keep your damage up pretty high. For solo players, it can also be very useful, but you have to have a really good source of healing. I'd probably recommend it for Templars, just because keeping your health up when you're getting criticaled over and over again, even when you're blocking, can still be pretty nasty. But I was just talking about the file there because I was also looking at one other one here that's kind of overlooked, and I'm just looking for it right now. Keys. I saw Fasal's Guile on here. Oh, here it is. Sorry about that. But I was talking just briefly before. Minor Defile is actually an interesting one here and very rarely used by other players because there's very few sources for it. And this gets it into a set, and it does it for any enemy that comes within 5 meters of you for 2 seconds here. So it just passively debuffs everyone. Combine this with a Reverberating Bash, and yeah, you're gonna be keeping their healing down pretty well. Very useful inside group play. And only other interesting ones I have to say out there, Eagle Eye is kind of interesting. It's one of the few that will actually increase your bow ability distance. But remember, just because you're increasing this, you're going to have some type of snare or some type of speed to keep yourself out of distance of other enemies. And at least kind of interesting, but not as interesting as... Ancient Grace. Ancient Grace is the last one I'd probably recommend taking a look at. All these sets can be very interesting in the right type of build, but this one is particularly interesting because if you're running something like a Necropotence build where you have a lot of Magicka and you're running other sets to just raise up your Magicka in general along with Mage Light, this can get it up another 4%, which a lot of people like, and it's very rare to drop. So maybe get this if you need it. The three presets are actually very hard to see, and getting it in gold can be kind of helpful. Anyways, that's Hero of None. That is your Mundus Minute, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all on Tamriel.